How y'all doing? It's Ámen by Shékhem. And if you don't know what that means, it is the Medina Daru language, priesthood. And it means the hidden universal soul initiating its divine will into physical manifestation. And I stand before you guys today. I don't even do the live thing, to be honest, man. I kept trying to record. I got so much stuff on my phone right now. I can't even keep recording it to just send it to people who I want to see it. What's up, Arkisha? Today is known as Christmas to most of the world, most of the Western world. But in our actuality, what this is, it is the day of the rising of the sun. For the past 3 days now, the universe was almost standing still. The longest days of the year, blah, 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 that type of thing, it was standing still. So what I've been doing for the past 3 days, I've been fasting. No meat, no ejaculation, no smoking, no drinking, no nothing. This is the offering for me to come forth to do what I need to do on earth. But anyway, what I'll be doing right here, I'm reading a piece. Right now. This is known as the Per Imp Heru, and it means the book of Per Imp Heru means coming forth into the light, coming forth by day. A lot of people recognize this as the Egyptian Book of the Dead. This compilation was written by Sabi Muwatta Ashby, very well respected man all over the world. You can do your own research on him if you want to know some more about him. But what I decided to just mess around with today is what you call Erit Heru. Erit Heru means divine action. Erit means karma. Heru means light. So if I take these two words, karmic light, and I put these things together, now I'm manifesting the light. I'm actually doing it perfectively. And what I'm going to be doing is, what I need you guys to know is that this enlightenment class right here, what I'm doing right now, is actually an offering from me to you. Not only from me to you, but from my little eye to the higher eye, from the self to the self, from the eye to the eye. This can be known as the highest action. This is known as the highest action because unconditional love is the highest form of understanding, whatever you want to call it. And this is, as long as you're standing on the pedestal of my eye, no evil will actually fault you. Anyway, let me get into the readings. All right. From the beginning of the Per Imp Heru scriptures and the period of the pyramid text to the end with the papyrus versions, there is a teaching of the Eye of Heru as being various offerings such as bread, wine, incense, etc. From Heru to Asar. Now each of you that's watching this right now, including myself, is Heru right now, struggling for liberation, struggling to actually gain the throne of Asar so that his will in heaven may be done on earth. This offering right now is an offering from Heru to his father Asar, saying, Father, here, this is what I have for you. Please, this is what I'm giving you so that you can actually give me your divine consciousness so that I can do your will on earth. There's nothing in this universe that is free. Nothing. I think it's called the universal laws of correspondence. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But this is my offering. Where I'm at. Also, an offering from the eye is given to the initiate. So not only is my lower self saying, hey, higher self, come down here and help me. My higher self is now saying, I hear you calling me, man. What you got going on? Are you worthy of my power right now? Are you worthy of this? Hold on, let me come down here and see, man. What you got going on, man? Oh, man, you talking something? You talking righteously? Let me see what you got going on in your mind. I might just bless you. I might just allow your will to be done. It is the eye of divine action, now turned inward and upward toward the divine, that is sublimated in the form of Heru. This offering is given to the spiritual aspirant, but not as a new item that has never been known, but something that has been taken away from you. In the story of Asar, Set and Heru, Set murdered his brother and put him in a coffin. Somewhere down the line, Set found the coffin And when, no, excuse me. Set did not find the coffin. Set messed around and found it on a riverbank. And when he seen it, he chopped it up into 14 pieces and scattered it throughout the land. Now, what this actually is, these are the pieces of the human anatomy that has been separated. This is the 90% of your brain that scientists say is dormant. This is the 97% of your DNA strand that scientists call junk DNA, just because they cannot explain why it's there. Now, what your DNA strand is composed of, the 3% that they can explain, that's your physical body. That's only 3% of your anatomy. That's only 3%. Now, the other 97%, that's your mother and your father. And then that's your mother's father and mother. That's your father's mother and father. And so on and so forth. This is actually everybody in the past doing whatever the hell they was doing whatever they were doing till it got to you. So there's nothing new under the sun. You just have to learn how to remember it. Anyway, Set chopped it up, scattered it out throughout the land. And now I am here right now asking my father Asar to actually help me activate these dormant parts of my brain right now. So here I am today giving offering to you guys here on Facebook. I don't do the live thing. This is my first time ever going live, ever. Probably might be, I ain't gonna say it's been my only time, but it will be a very long time before you see me going live again. Today is known as Christmas to a lot of people, and specifically speaking about the Catholic religion, there are a lot of Catholic Christians that will be practicing what you call the Eucharist. The Eucharist is back when we were little kids, we was in church, and the pastor started passing out bread and wine, on little crackers and bread and grape juice, some type of juice. It was a representation of wine. But that's what they called the Eucharist. It was an offering from God's children to God. They got this from us. They got this from what I'm reading to you right now. Erit Heru. They call it the Eucharist. In other words, one's own righteous actions have allowed one to discover that which was lost. The eye of intuitional vision. The eye of intuitional vision, man. I'll take my crown off, man. How y'all doing, man? I'm a little rough, man, but I ain't trying to be pretty for nobody. In this matter, the eye is given in a ritual fashion as an item to be consumed, such as bread, wine, etc. You know what they say, you are what you eat. You know what I'm saying? You are what you consume. But it doesn't stop there. It's not just about whatever it is that you are eating. It's about what you're listening to, what you're looking at. You know what I'm saying? The things that you think about in your mind, anything that's going on at the current moment of your life is what you are consuming, and you are what you eat. If you are sitting on this online trying to enlighten people and things of that nature, claiming to be a deity, you got to stop eating what Sebi Ra'un Neper like to recognize as domesticated beasts. Domesticated beasts are dead animals. You know what I'm saying? If you eating meat, you're eating a dead animal. That is not that we were not originally carnivores. We were actually herbivores. You know, but this is how we were attacked from way back when, to actually throw us out of our divinity, to keep us in chains. The eye received by the initiate is the consecrated offering, which has now become the essence of Heru. So now, I'm not only just sitting on Facebook. I don't just be sitting on Facebook talking this stuff all day. I actually live this. I walk around with my prayer rug all day, every day. I walk around with my prayer rug all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? I do this as an offering. Man. I'm going to sit here and give you a little glimpse of my reality real quick, man. Give y'all boys a real quick glimpse of my reality. This is a real quick glimpse of my reality right here. This is a very quick glimpse of my reality right here. I walk around here with my prayer rug every day. I am not a Muslim. I am not a Christian. My name is not just Ámen online. My name is actually Ámen in real life. My name is actually I am in real life. So now this is the essence of Heru. You know what I'm saying? The more you practice at something, the better you become at it. And now you begin to do it without even thinking about it. It becomes an involuntary action now. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like breathing, blinking your eyes. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to force myself to enlighten myself or anybody else now because I've been doing it for so long. It's become nature. It's become my number one action. This is known as the highest action as well. Anyway, consuming it means assimilating. I read that part. Excuse me. Consuming it means assimilating Heru into one's system, just as any other food item is. It is the highest possible action a human being can perform on earth, as it is an acceptance of one's divine nature and one's self-sustenance. That is, one living off of oneself. When I get ready to eat, whenever I'm breaking my fast and stuff before I eat, I don't pray to God, oh God, bless this food, this and that. I give thanks from the eye to the eye. You know what I'm saying? That's what I say when I'm from the eye to the eye. This is from me to you, from you to me, so on and so forth. Because I really want to be a Kemetic priest. I really want to manifest the actions of a Kemetic priest. You know, I actually want to uplift humanity. I know I can't save the world, but I can save somebody. The acceptance of this I is the teaching presented in the Per Em Heru. One passage from chapter 4 is presented below. As we know this saying, you are what you eat. Thus, by consuming the I, offering one to become Heru. This is the prototype for the same concept in Christianity, which is called the offering of the Eucharist. So right now, what I need y'all to be doing, when y'all seeing these Christians breaking bread with each other, drinking wine with each other, I need you to see this right here, because that's where it originated from. That is where it originated. This is where they stole it from. It ain't nothing new. They just tried to change the language and claim it as theirs after they raided our pyramids, our ancestors. So a spiritual aspirant must offer divine actions in return, and in return he receives divinity. So as long as I'm sitting here giving off divine offerings, I'm going to receive it. I'm going to receive it. I'm going to become the priest that I wish to be. I'm going to be able to uplift humanity. I see a lot of my family on here right now. It was once upon a time where I know my family probably was thinking that I was crazy when I said, I'm God. You know what I'm saying? Not in a sense as as quantity goes, but I do possess God quality. You know what I'm saying? I love, I enlighten, I teach, I heal. You know what I'm saying? And as long as I'm giving this to you guys, as long as I'm giving this to the world, then I'm going to receive it as well. I'm going to become who I wish to become. A little piece in the Per Em Heru, it says, I am the God great who came into existence out of himself, Noon. I created my own in the company of the gods and goddesses, as I am the God. And then it asks the question, who is this person that is being spoken about? Who is this person that is being spoken about? What I need you guys to realize is that when you're dealing with universal consciousness, you're not just dealing with Jules Omniverse Unisoul. You're not just dealing with Jerry Wardy. Jerry Wardy is now dealing with Ámen Shékhem. Jerry Wardy is now dealing with Justice Malik Cox. You know, you're actually doing this not only for yourself but for others as a service to humanity, to actually get us out of poverty, get us out of slavery, so we can really break these chains and get back to our original way of life. Now, the next part of this chapter, it goes in and it speaks about adversity in life. And it says, why is there adversity in life? Wouldn't it be nice if there was no misfortune to hamper your movement in life? Human life abounds with adversity. Even the very rich experience this. In fact, no matter who you are, nor where you are, you will experience adversity of one form or another as you progress throughout life. Adversity is a divine messenger. Imagine how life would be if you could do anything you wanted to do. You would indulge in every desire and whim. You will only seek to satisfy your desire for pleasure, and you will not accomplish anything significant in life because it wasn't worked for, it wasn't earned, it was just given to you. You know what I'm saying? You know, ever notice you ever gave somebody some money and then they just blow that shit? You know what I'm saying? My mama gave me some money one day, man. My mama came to give me some money, man. I can count on one hand how many times my mama done gave me some money in the past 11 years I've been incarcerated. And every time my mama gave me some money, I ain't never go to no dope man and smoke my mama money. No, hell no. Hell nah. Hell nah. No. Just because I want to smoke, I'm going to find another way to smoke. Fuck all that. I'm not about to waste my mama her. I'm about to go buy me some food or make a flip. Do something productive with it. You know what I'm saying? I love you, mama. I love you. But anyway, adversity comes forth as a divine messenger to actually tell you, yo, you need to tighten the fuck up. If you sitting in your house right now and you broke, if you sitting in your house right now and you single, if you sitting in your house right now and there are things in this world that you want but cannot receive because you're not potent enough to actually gain it, this is why you're going through it. This is the reminder saying, hey, crackhead, you're a crackhead because you're a crackhead. You ain't getting shit. You ain't getting shit until you start smoking crack. You ain't getting shit. Stop smoking crack and I might bless you. That's what the universe is saying. That's what Asar says to Heru in his battle with Seth. Adversity is a form of resistance which life places on all beings for the purpose of engendering in them a need to strive to overcome it. Me, for instance, man, yo, anybody on this line that actually knows me, I've been in and out of trouble all my life. I'll be 30 years old in April. I've been getting in trouble since I was 9. Since I was 9. What's up, Bridget? I was just watching one of your podcasts. As a matter of fact, I listened to 2 of your podcasts this morning, Bridget. You actually kind of inspired me to come online. And it's a very, very good thing that you came online because it's showing me that I'm doing the right thing, man. What's up, Bridget? When adversity is met with the correct understanding and with the right attitude, it can become a great source of strength and spiritual inspiration. Strength and spiritual inspiration. You see, it's a lot of us, it's many of us that want to do better. There's many of us out here that want to help our people, but for some reason, we can't help our people. But the reason why we can't help them is because our willpower is not strong enough to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm the treasury for the Rastafari community here. And if I want to make these finances continue to grow for the Rastafari community, I got to make sacrifices. I got to stop smoking. Already. I got to stop smoking. I like to smoke, bro. I don't smoke to get high. I smoke to keep myself calm back here. There's so much bullshit outside this motherfucking room. Hell, I got to do something to keep a mellow state. But if I want to goddamn build up these finances for the rosters, then I got to make some sacrifices. I got to man up. I got to say, man, hey, Amon, listen, bro. Bro, you got to stop smoking, man. I don't give a fuck about your mood swings, man. You got to motherfucking tame that shit. You want to be God? You want to be God? Learn how to control your fucking emotions. Learn how to learn how to deny your desires. And when you deny your desires and you feel that little heavy feeling in your chest, like whenever there's something going on that I don't like, my chest begins to get heavy. You know what I'm saying? Speaking on my desires right now. I ain't smoked in a week. You know what I'm saying? And I almost fucking spazzed on a pig yesterday. I had to stop and say, hold up. This is a shadow walker right now. This is Set trying to test me. This is a demon. This is an entity. This isn't the police. This isn't this police oppressing me right now. This is actually evil entity jumping in the body of this officer to come fuck with me, because this unseen entity can see my intentions. It knows my intentions, and it wants to keep me from succeeding. So it's gonna throw these obstacles in my way. Man, I had to take a step back from the woman and just look at her like, yo, you really gonna hate on me? I ain't never did nothing to you. I ain't never disrespect you. You got a boyfriend at work here, and I fuck with the man. The girl like me. but I've never flirted. I ain't never present myself to her sexually or anything of that nature, strictly because I respect her man. But man, obviously he chose the wrong girl, man, but that's their problem. Anyways, if you want to save your people, man, you got to man up. You got to boss up. You know what I'm saying? You got to put your desires to the side, because nobody can be comfortable in the struggle of success. There is no success without struggle. So what I need to do, I need to fucking detox. I ain't ate no meat in like 5 days now. The day before yesterday, my stomach was craving some meat. I wasn't even hungry. I was just craving the taste of meat. I'm saying, nah, I'm straight. And by me saying that I'm straight, it gives me that much more strength to actually accomplish whatever it is that I'm willing to do on earth. You know what I'm saying? And again, that is a divine offering. That is what you call Erik Heru. Erik Heru. Perfected action, divine action. You know what I'm saying? Karmic light, whatever you wish to call it. Where I'm at. However, if adversity makes you hard-headed, insensitive, selfish, cold, and bitter, then you will lead yourself deeper into the quagmire of negativity and pain. You know how they say, misery love company? You know what I'm saying? It's been many times throughout these past 11 years where I'd have been sitting in a cell, mad at the world, mad at my own brothers of the struggle, because they really ain't brothers of the struggle. I shouldn't have been getting upset at them. What I should have been doing is recognizing that this is the unseen entities jumping into the bodies of my brothers, because they are spiritually impotent. It's jumping into their bodies and it's actually attacking me right now. It's oppressing me. I did 3 motherfucking years. I did 3 years in solitary confinement. A whole 3 years, from November 2nd, 2015 until November 1st, 2018. I did 3 years in the hole. In the first 18 months, the first like 17, 18 months of that 3 years, I was bucking on these pigs. I swear to God, if you know me personally, then you know my struggle. You know I will whoop a pig ass real quick. I'll beef with a pig before I beef with one of these prisoners. I'd have been locked up, I'd have been in prison 8.5 years. I only got in 3 fights. Only 3. That's very good. I'd have been all over the state of South Carolina. I'd have been in like 6, 7 different prisons now. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, the first 18 months was actually me self-destructing, because I was overwhelmed by these unseen forces. I wasn't able to identify these forces of nature that was attacking me. So if I can't identify it, how the fuck I'm gonna be able to defend myself against it? That's not gonna happen. What I began to do, I started striking out on the police. I started getting on the door, cussing out my brothers. Y'all fake ass niggas. Y'all ain't no brothers of the struggle. This and that, blah, 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 blah. Man, I'm sitting here fighting these police for shit that they doing to other people. They don't fuck with me. Police scared of me. You see me right now? You see that? Y'all see that? I walk around here and do what I want to do because I know who I am. I walk around here with my chest poked out, my back straight, my head held high. And it's not arrogance, it's actually the confidence that you gain once you actually begin to realize who you are. Once you begin to realize who you are, and once you begin to actually come into yourself and begin to fight these demons that reside within you and killing them, you gain strength, you gain their energy. Energy knows no difference between good and evil. Energy knows no difference between good and evil, actually. You had the tree of knowledge and the tree of life. The tree of life is actually the chakra system. This is only life force sustenance. It's only power. Now, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, that's when the intent comes into effect. That's where good and evil comes into effect. Now, I can sit back and make ritual when the first moon comes forth. I can sit back and address a deity, or I can say, Herakudi, I need your strength. Here's an offering to you. I need your power so that I can kill this motherfucker. Herakudi don't really give a fuck if you about to kill somebody or not, because if you perform if you perform the ritual correctly, Harakudi ain't doing nothing but giving you the energy to do whatever it is that you're thinking about doing. That's all that's going on. Once I began to realize this, once I began to realize that there were unseen entities attacking me because of the endeavors that I had set forth for myself to actually uplift humanity, I began to learn how to fight them. I began to actually learn the actions of self-discipline. It was one time, man, it was this one prisoner, we was on lockup, and he was fighting the police and shit, refusing to shut his door and all kind of shit. So what the police did, they said, man, you know what? We gonna stop fighting you. And we gonna let you do whatever the fuck you wanna do. We are gonna leave out the building. And when we leave out the building, we ain't coming back. We ain't coming back until you decide to lock your ass in your room and back into your cell. You know? So being that the police ain't coming in the building, that means everybody else ain't being fed, we ain't being bathed, or anything of that nature. So what I say now, man, this is a test, man. This is an abstract test for me. I got to stop wilding out. I got to stop giving off hostile reactions to these people. I got to stop that, because if I'm sitting back acting like a heathen, if I keep going into my animalistic nature, just to fight these pawns that's in front of me, I'm never going to be able to actually evolve and fight the unseen entities that's controlling these pawns. I'm not actually playing chess. Whenever you go into your lower nature to battle something or somebody, whenever you do that, I need you to realize that you are no longer the chess player, but you have become one of the chess pieces. You don't want to be one of the chess pieces, man. You want to be the controller. You want to be that, you know what I'm saying? And being that, once I became one of the chess pieces on this battlefield to fight, I ain't doing nothing but fighting the same pieces on the opposite side of the board. I ain't really getting into the mind state. I'm not getting into the mental of the person that's playing chess with me, because I can't see him. I'm blind right now. I'm overwhelmed. I'm acting like an animal. An animal ain't got no damn rationality. An animal don't do nothing but fuck, sleep, eat, shit. That's it. Motherfucking animal don't goddamn say, man, a tiger don't go around and say, man, let me go run to these other tigers. Hey, man, goddamn on, what y'all want to do today? Y'all want to start a tiger coalition? Y'all want to start a tiger coalition so we can just start going around the land and conquering shit? Nah, tigers don't do that. Tigers be like, man, listen, man, you walk over here and come fuck with me, I'ma eat your ass. Or I'ma kill your ass. My stomach start motherfucking growling, I'm going out to this gaze of gazelles and I'm about to eat something. You know what I'm saying? That's animalistic nature right there. That's not God quality. I have jumped into my lower nature many times to fight these people, because I wasn't yet potent enough to actually rise up and be God. So for the first 18 months of my incarceration in a maximum security prison, I was acting as an overwhelmed being. I was acting like an animal, fighting them. And on the surface, yeah, I gained the respect of the police that was coming in here to feed me. You know what I'm saying? I gained their respect, but I didn't gain the respect of the people that was sending the police to come get me. I didn't gain the respect of the police boss man. The police boss man was like, oh yeah, he emotional. Oh, we can play with his emotions? Shit, man, listen, man, don't feed that nigga today. Don't feed that nigga today. When you don't feed that nigga, he gonna do something stupid. And when he do something stupid, we gonna write his ass up and we gonna keep his dumb ass behind this motherfucking door. We don't need this motherfucker coming up outside of no cell without some fucking handcuffs on, because this is one of the real ones. This is one of the dangerous ones. This is one that will whoop your motherfucking ass. That probably can get to me and whoop my ass. So I need you to stay in this cell. Man, I did 3 motherfucking years behind that door, man. But the other 18 months, this book saved me, man. This book saved my life. This book kept me from going crazy while I was locked inside of that cell, bro. This book right here taught me self-control. This book right here taught me how to perform heru, divine action. Sometimes the best action is no action. I like to call it no response. No response is better. No, what does that say? No response is the best response. That means when an officer come up in my face, hey Rob, what are you doing? Tuck your shirt in, put your ID on. And I just sit there and I look at him and I ignore him. You're beneath me. You do not deserve my attention. You do not deserve my energy. I will not give the unseen force that's standing behind you any more energy. That's all it's trying to do, is just trying to kill me, because it's seeing me trying to become God right now. It's trying to kill God. But let me tell you one, I was watching something from one of my brothers named Pomo. He said that whenever shadow walkers being evil entities that's controlling other people, weak people. He says that whenever they see a threat, peace, Anu Apsu. I don't know what Apsu means. I know what Anu means, but what does Apsu mean, brother? Anyways, where was I? Once I began to actually practice self-control, every time those police played that little game, when one of the prisoners got mad and started wilding out, and they'll say, okay, you want to wild out? We ain't gonna fight you. We just gonna leave out the building. We're gonna leave out the building, and then we're gonna turn everybody else against your dumb ass because we ain't feeding them. We ain't feeding them, we ain't bathing them. They're gonna get mad at your ass eventually. It'd have been many days where I'd have seen the police do some reverse psychology shit on the actual population, and have the population start to attack the man that's bucking on the police because the police doing some fuck shit to him. The police might not be giving this man a phone call. He done had a death in the family. You don't want to give that man a phone call. His grandma done died. You saying, fuck that, we ain't giving you no phone call. Now this man showing his ass, he bucking. You're not going to fight him. You're going to leave. And then eventually, after so many hours go by, there's going to be other people within the building saying, man, hey man, take your stupid ass in your fucking room. Niggas trying to eat. We ain't got no canteen. We ain't locked up. We need something to eat. We need to get these showers. We need to do this and do that. Unseen entities, Bridget. Unseen entities being Pomatic. He spoke about the movie it was called Falling with Denzel Washington, and the theme of that movie was an entity by the name of I can't remember the demon's name, but what he used to do all throughout time is he'll jump into a body and just cause havoc. You know what I'm saying? He might run that person crazy, make them kill themselves. He might go on a massive shooting spree. When you see these shooting sprees going on, these are demonic spirits. These are the shadow walkers jumping into these bodies and causing havoc. That's all they do. They feed off fear. They feed off greed. They get energized off of shame. I said grief, lies, manipulations. They spin illusions. You know what I'm saying? They get you attached to things. They get you attached to these materialistic things in the world, and it helps, and it keeps a person who's striving to actually ascend. It keeps them bounded to the earth. It keeps them bounded to the earth. That's the job of the shadow walker. The shadow walker does that. But anyway, in the movie, the entity tried to jump into Denzel, and when he tried to jump into it, he couldn't get into the man's body. The reason why he couldn't get into Denzel's body, Denzel was a pure man. He was like somewhat to be known as God incarnated. He was living without fear, without grief, without shame, greed. He wasn't telling no lies, no lust, things of that nature. He was a very, his moral system was very high. And not only was his moral system high, he acted upon that high standard of living. So he was unfazed by this evil entity. He could not get into this temple of God. This is a real temple of God. He couldn't get in. So when he seen that he couldn't get in, he got interested and said, man, you know what? this is a challenge right here, man. I'm supposed to be killing gods. I'm supposed to be keeping God from resurrecting right now. So what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do right here. I'm going to jump into this man's grandson. Jump into the little boy's body. The little boy done went and killed his daddy with lethal injection. After he killed the man, the entity had the little boy go back into the room, go to sleep, and jumped out the body. Now, when the boy wakes up, he don't know nothing. He don't remember getting out of bed, killing his father, or anything of that nature. He's totally oblivious to that shit right now. Totally oblivious to that shit. So, Denzel knew it. Denzel finally began to catch on. In one scene of the movie, he was trying to catch a perpetrator for something. I can't remember. I ain't seen the movie in so long. He was trying to catch a perpetrator for something. He didn't yet realize that there was an unseen entity jumping into these bodies. He just thinking like there's some mob shit going on because the entity, like he's out there on a public street. So the entity jumped into this woman and she just giving this real evil glare like, yeah, I'm gonna get you. And then touched the next person, jumped into the next man and looked like, yeah, motherfucker, yeah, I can get at you. So then the next thing he did, Denzel began to chase a white man that the entity jumped into. So when this entity jumps into bodies, he can actually read your thoughts. He can actually tap into your memory bank. So what the entity did, he had the white man run to his car. He had a gun in the car. He got the gun, got the gun out the car. Denzel was a police officer. So Denzel draws his gun, the white man draws his gun, bow! Shoot a motherfucker off GP. Now Denzel, he had to kill him. He ended up having to kill the man. If he wouldn't have killed the white man, then the white man would have killed him by shooting that gun. You know? So now it's weird because now the police force is chasing their own, one of their best employees right now for murder. You know, they're not about to say, you can't come up here and say, oh man, a spirit jumped into a body and tried to get the man to kill me, so I had to kill him. Ain't nobody going for that shit. Denzel had to actually elude the police so he could figure out how to defeat this entity. Now, once a body dies that the Shadow Walker was within, the Shadow Walker would jump out of the body, but he couldn't go no further than I think 500 meters or something like that. He could not astral travel no further than 500 meters before he would have actually ran out of energy and dispersed back into the nothingness of the universe, into the void of existence, actually. That's why he always jumping bodies. So Denzel began to figure this out, and what Denzel did, Denzel drove his car out to a cabin in the middle of nowhere with the intent of killing the Shadow Walker. The only way he could kill him, Denzel knew he was going to die in the process now. He knew he was going to die. It was he had to sacrifice it. This was going to be his sacrifice to humanity in order to try to save humanity, you know what I'm saying? He goes out into the middle of nowhere in this cabin and he waits. He waits for the entity to arrive in a body. Just so happened the entity arrives in his partner's body, and his partner brought one, I think the chief of police or something like that, the captain, someone they boss mans. They pull up. Now, the captain is unaware of the fact that Denzel's partner is spirit possessed right now. He's unaware of this right now. And they get there, they argue, you know, they build up the anticipation before all the action pop off. Long story short, Denzel ended up killing the police chief. Because the police chief was just hard pressed on arresting Denzel for the murder of this teacher that he did out there in the town somewhere. Denzel ended up killing him. Now, Denzel began to speak to his partner, but actually he was speaking to the Shadow Walker. You don't speak to the body that the entity is in. You speak to the entity itself. And you know, he had a conversation with him, exposed him, this and that, blah, blah, blah. He ended up killing, hold on. Oh. Hey, pardon self. Hey, G, I need some time. Hold on for a second, y'all. Hold on. Let me get over this way. It's a more safe spot over here. All right. Denzel took a cigarette and put some type of poison within the cigarette. and began to smoke it while he was talking to the entity that was within his partner. He shot his partner and killed him. Now, Denzel has been, by this time, Denzel's kind of shaken up now. He's kind of prone to possession now. He knows this. So what he did, he poisoned himself and then killed his partner. When he killed his partner, remember, there's nobody else around right now. So the Shadow Walker jumped into Denzel's body. But Denzel done poisoned himself. So it ain't nothing but a matter of time before he died too. Boom, Denzel dies. And now the entity jumps out the body, and the entity's like, damn, man, ain't nobody around this motherfucker right now. So now the entity is getting scared because he can't go no more than 500 meters before he run out of energy and dies. Just so happy he found a fucking cat, and he beat Denzel. But does that answer your question, Bridget, with the Shadow Walkers? A Shadow Walker is when you go to work. When you go to work, let's say you work at AT&T at a call center, you know, and you dealing with all these rude ass customers and shit. They saying this and that. You just got a real aggravated day right now. You're starting to get into your emotions. You're starting to get snappy. You know what I'm saying? This is a reaction of this is a reaction of your own. The Shadow Walker is actually within these customers fucking with you right now, because even though you working at AT&T, you got a bigger goal for your people, for humanity. And the Shadow Walker don't want to see that. He don't want to see you accomplish that goal. So he gonna do whatever the fuck he got to do. He's agitating you right now. You become agitated. You snapping at customers. Now your supervisor comes and say, "Hey, Bridget, man, what you got going on today? Man, you know what, man? Go ahead and take the rest of the day off." Now you cuss his ass out. Lose your motherfucking job. This shit is taking you out of your peaceful state of mind right now because you just lost your job. Damn, man. Damn, I ain't even got enough. I only work for 2 days in this new pay stub period. So now I'm only about to get $200 on my last check. That shit ain't gonna pay my bills. That shit ain't gonna help pay my rent. It ain't gonna help feed my son. You know what I'm saying? So now you become stressed. It diverts you from your mission of actually trying to enlighten your people through your podcast, let's say. Being that you done lost your job, the time that you're spending on your podcast is you running around looking for jobs now. So you ain't, you know what I'm saying? You ain't on your podcast enlightening brothers and sisters now. You're actually in your car, riding around where you at, looking for a damn job. Shadow Walker winning right now because he's diverted you. He didn't kill you, but he kept you off of your straight path. He kept you off of that path. So right now the Shadow Walker is winning. What you have to do, Bridget, you got to stay in control. You got to be able to assess the situation with a clear mind state, with Tahuti. You know, and actually take it out. Let's say you go on a fast and you start to call on Tahuti. Tahuti, give me wisdom. Give me the wisdom that I need to overcome this struggle. Herukuti, give me the strength that I need to perform whatever solution that I've come up with. Herukuti, give me strength to perform this right here. All right, let's see. Let's just say somebody comes up, your king, and say, "Boy, hey baby, girl, I just got down hitting the scratch-off ticket. Man, goddamn, boy, here go $5,000, girl, goddamn. This gonna hold you off until you get your job. So now you ain't really stressed because you ain't scrambling for money now. It was a blessing from the universe. You gave offering and you received a blessing. You know, things of that nature. Excuse me. My shadow walker. The shadow walker that haunts me or that fights me on the daily, it's always jumping at my brothers. I'm a part of the Growth and Development Nation. I'm an outstanding member of my nation. I used to be Gangster Disciple, you know what I'm saying? But through the exercise of the mind, body, and spirit, which the organization teaches, it brought me here. You see, a lot of people who are a part of these organizations here in America, their knowledge or their history, their knowledge of history doesn't go no further than 1950. The difference between me and a lot of other people who are in these organizations, I didn't stop studying at 1950. I went to 1940, 1930, 20, so on and so forth, until I made it here. 7,000 years ago, 8,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago. I go by the name of Ámen back here. And whenever I meet new people, whenever I make it to a new prison, and they see that I'm GD, but I'm professing the name of a God, you God body? I am the God body, but no, I am not a part of the nation of the gods of earth. And I go prison to prison with my prayers, wearing my stuff in public. Yes, I'm still GD. I'm a righteous and real brother of the struggle making a change. And I can actually go into my nation's literature and show this stuff. I can intertwine it. So now, people who don't like the things that I do, my brothers, some of my brothers in particular, they might not like what I'm doing, but they can't fight me. Because all I do, I start quoting the lit of our nation. When I start quoting the literature of our nation, they're no longer arguing with me. They arguing with the founders of this organization. They're arguing with the board of directors, the people who made this literature for us to study so that we can actually help society. You know what I'm saying? Growth and development is based upon 6 principles for the main part. And that is social development, organization, unity, politics, education, economics. You know what I'm saying? All of those principles must be played upon righteously. And whenever I'm coming across brothers who done been doing this shit 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and they ain't at least somewhere in my frequency range, I automatically know that they're not actually living the teachings of the organization. Because it's not all about gangbanging. That's all right, yeah, that shit happened, it was really an infiltration, whatever. But that's just a piece of your growth. You know, they hate it. They become shadow walkers. You know what I'm saying? They talk shit behind my back. Nobody says it to my face because they know that they are unrighteous in their actions. They know that my sword is sharper than theirs. And if they come attack me, then they're attacking the honorable chairman of this glorious organization that we are a part of. So that's how I defeat my shadow walker. Instead of saying, man, fuck that, y'all niggas ain't talking about shit, I'm gonna keep doing me, I'm gonna keep praying, I'm gonna keep saying my name, I'm gonna keep giving off them affirmations. I'm not acting in a hostile manner, because if I react in an emotional manner, if I delve down into my animalistic instinct, I might beat his ass, but eventually I will lose, because hostility is going to be met with hostility. And we all know that the masses, the majority of people in this world are dumb, deaf, and blind. They're ignorant. So they're going to actually give more energy to this shadow walker to defeat me. This shadow walker now, he done jumped in my brother's body, and my brother done convinced these other boys to goddamn gang up on my ass and kill me. So no, I don't go for it that way. I say, man, hey, well, you know our literature promotes the elevation of the spirit. You know we have awareness sessions. You know what I'm saying? We delve in the mind, the body, and the spirit. You know what I'm saying? We must exercise these daily. And if you have no spiritual basis for yourself, then it lets me know that you're not exercising your spirit. That means you're in violation. You are in violation of the laws and policies of this glorious organization. I flip it on their asses. I flip it on them. Once they realize that, oh shit, they shut the fuck up. Because I'm speaking righteousness. They're no longer arguing with me, but they're arguing with the people who made this literature. Beat the shadow walker. Hold up for a second, yo. Hold up. What's up, What's up, Ms. Johnson? I got a request. We got funds in here on the 31st. Can you be here?
I think I'm working that day. That's on a Tuesday?
Yes, Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm working.
Will you attend?
Yeah, I'm
just seen me on my phone. They ain't taking it though, because they recognize God. They recognize God. I'm gonna take this building to myself. Stay tuned in. Give me like 5 seconds, y'all. Give me like 5 seconds. Now y'all see what I'm saying? Back in my cell now, y'all. Police just seen me on the phone. They didn't try to take it. They respect God. They respect me. But anyway, let's move on. Back to the subject at hand, man. Divine action. I gotta get back to the page. That's my mama right there, man. I've been through this book for like 2 years, man. Here we go. But this is the adversity in life. Adversity brings forth resistance, a form of resistance in life to actually wake you up. If you are not able to pay your bills, it's because you're doing something wrong. If you smoke, if you're doing drugs, you know what I'm saying? This is the universe telling you, yo, stop doing drugs. You sitting here spending $300 a month, $300 a week on drugs. These $300 a week right here can be going to your rent. Or these $300 a week could be going to the actual the endeavor that you had to uplift your people. But as I said, man, I was doing this. I started to give offering to you guys, not only for you, but for me as well. I started my fast throughout the winter solstice on the 21st. I haven't eaten any meat. It's over with. I am still delving in dairy products such as cheese, you know. But there's a ritual within the Per Imp Heru that demands one of celibacy. And celibacy, no drugs, no sex, no meat. No meat within your system. That includes fish, that includes chicken, turkey, all of that. No domesticated animal should be caught within your system right now if you are within this fast and trying to manifest once the spring equinox gets here in March. Because this is the whole reason why you are fasting. You're fasting so that this is like you, a baby in the womb right now, developing right now to be born. If your endeavor is to have a good hustle or a good gathering for your people, by March, this will manifest if you are performing correct rituals. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to stutter now, man. Y'all put me on the spot. If you are performing these things correctly throughout these next 3 months, it's like a baby in the womb and you're fashioning it right now. Your endeavor is the baby within your womb. And you dictate how your child will come out by what you are consuming throughout your pregnancy right now. That sounds very good. Yeah. I'm going straight off the head right now, y'all. Any questions? If you wasn't here earlier, man, I spoke on the Eucharist. If you don't know what that means, the Eucharist is a ritual that Catholics or a lot of Christians practice when they go into church and they pour juice and they give out crackers. It's symbolic to be on wine and bread, offerings to God, you know what I'm saying, for whatever it is that they're striving to get done. This came from this book right here, man. Per Imp Heru. And if you want to do the same thing, if you're sitting at home and if you have an endeavor to actually uplift your people, you got to make the sacrifices. You got to take yourself out of your comfort zone. You cannot be comfortable in a struggle. There's nothing comfortable about war. Nothing comfortable about struggling. You know? But it's just like doing push-ups. When you're doing push-ups, it's them last push-ups of your max out when you're struggling. That's what's building your strength right there. That's what's building you up. that struggle to get those last couple push-ups in is what's actually going to give you the mass that you want within your muscles to become more physically strong. You know what I'm saying? Or actually, it doesn't just refer to actual physical strength. When you're working out, it also massages the organs within our body. It eases our mind. It clears our mind. You know, and it helps you to see things more intrinsically. It helps you to make more keen decisions in whatever situation you find yourself in, whether it be a long-term goal or a situation that's in the here and now, an immediate situation. It gives you better insight, and you can act accordingly to a heru, divine actions, perfected actions. It can only be done through giving offerings. It can only be done through this right here, man. It can only be done through that right there, my friends. My first time going live, man. I really want to keep going, man. But I would really like for somebody to give me a subject to go on right now, man. Because I haven't been in this book, man. This past 2019 right here for me, this past year, was actually me recovering from a tribulation that I had endured in 2018 with my family. And then when I say my family, I'm not talking about my mom. I'm talking about a family that I actually built while I was in prison. I had some legal ventures going on, me and a couple other prisoners. We had some sisters that we knew. I met off Facebook. You know what I'm saying? I met this one chick. You know what I'm saying? I had her doing some things for me. I knew another sister who's in Kentucky. We're not even cool anymore because of this. It ain't no beef, but we don't interact with each other anymore because of this situation. Anyway, I'm not gonna go into the specifics of it, but there was a huge tribulation that really kind of flatlined me in 2018. It really flatlined me, and this whole year right here, I really ain't been doing shit, man. I know things, man, but like I really just been like, man, I'm exhausted. I'm trying to charge back up. I'm trying to power back up. You know what I'm saying? The endeavor that I had for myself in 2018 was the greatest. This was the greatest endeavor I've ever actually tried to manifest in my whole 29 years of existence, 30 years of existence. And I failed. I know why I failed, but you know what I'm saying, like I said, I failed. Hold on. I don't let a lot of men teach me, so all I'm doing is letting the patriarchy groom me now. So just talk. I'm listening to you. Okay. Yeah, this year right here, I came to a new prison. The first week of last year, the first week of January, I came to this new prison. I've actually learned how to be more in control of my temper. You know, when I get mad though, I don't be getting mad for stupid shit. I get mad for the things that I be seeing going on around me. It really hurts my soul when I see my fellow brothers and sisters actually carrying out the dictates of these oppressors. You know what I'm saying? When a pig come on a rock and they be like, all right, y'all locked down, and they don't even say it loud enough for everybody to hear them, and then they just run back off the rock. It's a setup. It's a setup. What the officer is really trying to do right now, he's trying to say, man, all right, he's trying to call up his backup and say, man, yo, these boys ain't trying to go in the room. Now, when he called backup, if backup got to come down here, we about to be locked down for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to be able to go to no store, buy no canteen. Your ass going to have to eat this nasty-ass state food that they serving, so on and so forth. So he's trying to set it up. He's trying to set us up for the lockdown right now. And can you actually believe that when he came and whispered it on the rock, it was like 2 or 3 people who actually heard what he said. They began to run around the unit chastising people for not going in the cell. Y'all stupid motherfuckers, get the fucking room. We ain't been to the store in 3 motherfucking weeks. So it began to cause a little anguish in my heart. And I came out there like, yo, what the fuck is y'all doing right now, man? What the fuck y'all doing at the police job right now? Oh, the police did holler out lockdown. Yeah, he did come on the rock and say lockdown. But when you look at it from a more internal perspective or a more abstract perception, He really was setting us up. I can see it. You really just want to try to, you want to get the inmates to do your job for you. You want the prisoners to do your job for you. Either that, or you just trying to kill us off right now. And me personally, I'd rather say fuck canteen. I'd rather say fuck that shit. I'll stay locked in this motherfucking puss ass cell. I'll stay my ass locked in this motherfucking cell before I bow down to them little bitch ass dictates you doing. I'm a reasonable man. I'm very respectable. I don't call none of these pigs by their ranks. You know what I'm saying? I don't say Sergeant Doe or Major Doe. Major, I don't do that shit. And I always try to actually what's the word I'm looking for? Promote everybody else, not to address these pigs by their so-called ranks. Because if I go out there and I say, hey man, hey Sergeant Doe, just by me saying Sergeant in front of his name, I'm actually acknowledging that I am a part of their rank and file. I'm a part of your little structure, your little military structure that you got going on right now. Instead of me being a damn prisoner, I'm trying to be a fucking officer right now. Sergeant, lieutenant, captain, major, nah. But at the same time, just, you know what I'm saying, to try to keep myself from finding myself in a quagmire of negativity, you know, I'll say Mr. Doe. You know what I'm saying? I'll address you as Mr. and Mrs. I do that off the strength of respect. You know what I'm saying? Just not to rub you wrong way. I actually, at one prison I was at, I actually almost got sent to lockup one time because I wouldn't address the major as major. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh yeah, Mr. Nettles, we was having a conversation about something. And he old ass white man, old nasty ass white man too. Oh, you address me as Major. I'm Major Nettles. And I'm looking at this man like, you don't scare me. I didn't say it, but I gave off the whole impression that you do not scare me at all. And I say, sir, with all due respect, I'm not a part of your rank and file. So you're not my major. However, I will address you as Mr. Nettles. He immediately threw me in a cell. Well, he didn't throw me in a cell. He sent me into a lockup cell and told the captain to send me to lockup. And he went home. Now, just so happened the captain that was working that day was a woman that I had grew. We got a little relationship together, not no intimate relationship or nothing like that. But she began to see me. She began to respect my moves. You know what I'm saying? And you know, so she came to talk to me like, what's going on? He just told me to lock you up. He didn't give me no reason or nothing. And I say, ma'am, the man really tried to actually intimidate me right now. He tried to intimidate me and tried to force me to call him something that I don't have to call him. I began to quote policy. He got mad because I knew the rules of the prison system. He got mad because I knew the laws. He got mad because I wasn't a nigga. It burned his ass up. And when he seen that I had no fear, it burned him up even more. He attacked me. He sent one of his goons at me. See how that worked out? This is what happens when you don't give off negative reactions to these situations. When you show no fear, when you show no fear, in the end, you will be rewarded for your struggle. You will be rewarded for your loyalty to righteousness. That's just universal law. You know what I'm saying? That ain't just something that somebody wrote in a book, or something that somebody thought of. This is actually the functions of the universe. This is actually quantum physics right here. You know what I'm saying? This is actually saying 2 + 2 is 4 right here. There's no possible way, like, a pig could come up to me and say 2 + 2 is 3. Just because he's saying that doesn't make it true. Now, if I allow myself to be blinded by his illusion, then I'll place myself in his tomb world. I'll place myself in his world, and by me being in his world, he's the author of this book. He's the author of this movie. I'm a character. That means he gets to write my script. That means he gets to say, oh yeah, little nigger Ámen, he tried to not call me Major. So being that he doesn't call Major Nettles Major Nettles went and talked to Captain Shepard and said, yo, go lock Ámen up. Go lock a mine up. If I would have acted in a negative way, if I would have been on some shit like, if I would have made a scene, if I'd have got disrespectful right there at the moment and said, man, I ain't calling you no motherfucking major. I ain't calling you that shit. You ain't my motherfucking major. By me reacting in a hostile manner, I would have received a hostile reaction from him as well. And if he gets hostile, that means all the other pigs around him will automatically get hostile against me as well, whether I'm in the right or the wrong, because their loyalty is to the devil. Their loyalty is to the man that's signing their paycheck at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So whether it have been many times where it have been many times I done fought police, and some of those police that I fought was police that I actually liked, but had to fight them because their boss was giving them a directive and they chose their job over me. That was a reaction of fear. You know what I'm saying? Fear of losing their job. Fear of losing that pay stub. You know what I'm saying? They got kids to take care of, this and that, da-da-da-da-da. And that's actually a survival tactic, actually. Once you start taking food out of somebody's mouth, only an animal reacts off of instinct. Intellectual human being becoming a divinity acts off of intuition. The difference between intuition and instinct is just that. Instinct is something that just does it just for the sake of survival. You know what I'm saying? You got all these pigs working here. They ain't got shit in life. They ain't got shit. They be sitting back looking at my world saying, man, look at this shit. You living in the fucking trenches. And then I sit back and I look at them. I say, shit, you working for the fucking government. You working for the ill-equipped government right now. Y'all so short-staffed right now. Y'all so goddamn stupid. You sit back and take so much shit from these higher-ups just so you can get a little bitch-ass paycheck to pay your bills and feed your kids. When in all actuality, you only working the slave. You only living the slave right now. You only slaving to live. Excuse me. You're only slaving to live. If you're gonna be sitting here at a job and actually interacting with this shitstorm, at least do it to a point to where you can actually begin to gain from it. Because if you living from paycheck to paycheck, man, shit, you ain't doing shit. You ain't doing nothing but surviving. You ain't about to create no legacy. You ain't going to be remembered after you die. You know what I'm saying? Your kids will remember you. If your grandkids was there, you know what I'm saying? They might have a little glimpse of you. But by the time 3-4 generations go by, ain't nobody going to know your motherfucking name no more. Ain't nobody going to be like, man, hey, man, god dang on. This is a picture of your great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, Bridget right here. And she stood up to the powers that be. She fucked around and lost her job at AT&T because, she lost her, I'm going to say you're an officer. Excuse me, sister. I don't mean to disrespect, no disrespect or anything like that. Just using an example. She lost her job as a correctional officer because she wouldn't attack an inmate or a prisoner that didn't do anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? He just spoke his mind. He exercised his freedom of speech. He didn't get disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? This is what your great-great-great-great-grandmother did. And when she lost her job and that prisoner got beat up or whatever, just so happened that prisoner that got beat up was really a lawyer waiting for a fucking lawsuit. Waiting for these motherfuckers to slip up so I can smack some papers on your motherfucking ass. I'm gonna wear this ass whooping. And I'm gonna make sure I get in contact with Bridget and say, Bridget, man, I need you to write an affidavit for me right now, man, because I'm about to sue these motherfuckers for $100,000. I'm gonna sue them for $100,000 in damages. My neck, my back hurt. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the infirmary. The doctor can't dictate what's going on because it's a nervous problem. They too motherfucking cheap to send me out on the streets to a neurologist to see what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? So all they saying is, oh, prisoner complaining of nervous defects, so forth, so on and so forth, blah, 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 blah. Now, me being the lawyer that I am, All right, Bridget, man, if you write this affidavit for me to say, yo, Ámen didn't do anything. He didn't do anything but exercise his freedom of speech. If you write that right there for me, I'll give you $20,000. I'll give you $20,000. Yeah, I'll do that. Matter of fact, man, we about to up the stakes. We want $100,000 in damages, as well as, let's say, $10,000 in lawyer fees. We want oh yeah, man, god dang on Bridget. Dang on, man, I got a little bit of money in my pocket, goddamn, man, man, I got 1,500, man. I got 1,500, man. You think you could chip in at least a couple hundred, like we can get this $2,000, so you can actually go out there and find a neuro doctor to come and see me, and let it be known that yes, it was very possible that Ámen suffered nerve damage from the attack on the officers. And now this doctor is going to say, oh, being that I seen this patient, man, he owes me $100,000. So now that's $100,000 in doctor fees. That's $10,000 in lawyer fees. That's $100 in damages. You know, that's what, $210,000. Is the doctor really gonna get $100,000 right now? Probably not. I really doubt it. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get a doctor 15 grand, 20 grand. Be happy. So let me see, 10, 110. That's like $185,000 that we have to contribute to our brothers and sisters of the struggle, so that we can uplift humanity. Now we actually have the finances. We actually have the currency to finance and push our endeavors now, because there's no such thing as building a civilization without money, without currency. There's no such thing as going to war without currency. There's nothing in this world actually that's going to be churned without currency. You know what I'm saying? Now we have the funds to actually do what it is we need to do, and we can get it done a whole lot quicker now. Now you ain't got to keep busting your ass, getting this little paycheck to paycheck, trying to save a little $50 every other week to contribute to the struggle. You know, we might have to wait a year and a half, maybe a year and a half before it's all over with, before they sign that check off, before we get the judge to sign that check off. That shit ain't gonna go to trial. Hey, this is just some of the paperwork. I don't know if you can see it pretty good, right? I use it as a nightstand. I'm not sure if y'all can see it, but it's a net bag with a whole lot of paperwork in it. Those are two of the lawsuits that I've been in throughout the past couple of years. Man, I done had so much paperwork. I've been raided by these people so much. It's ridiculous. I know that I'm doing the right thing, because they have not the officers that work inside of this unit with me, not their bosses that work in the operation building up front, but the headquarters over the entire state penitentiary, not just this prison, but the people who actually run the entire Department of Corrections in this state learned my name. They learned my name. They learned my name not only because I was a revolutionary that'll jump on a police ass physically, but because I'm a revolutionary that has begun to delve into the law. I began to learn to execute legal actions without help. I don't need no motherfucking lawyer. I don't need to call no goddamn lawyer and say I need you to represent me. I can represent myself. I'm very much competent enough to represent myself. You know, all I got to do is set the stage right now. That's all I need to do, man. I need to sit here, create a situation, because these dumbass pigs right here that's working around me, they stupid. They dumb. They are very dumb. Only thing they good at is taking orders. They don't know how to think. I promise you. They don't know how to think. So they going to fall for my trap. They going to fall. They going to play into it. They going to get hostile. They going to get hostile. They going to whoop my ass. And I ain't going to fight back. I'm aware of that ass. I'm aware of this ass. Excuse me, y'all. I'm aware of this ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? I'm aware of this ass whooping as a sacrifice. This is my offering to my endeavor right now, to our endeavor, Bridget. This is my offering so that we can actually receive the currency we need to begin to build a better society, a better community first, you know what I'm saying, and so on and so forth. Now I can come on Facebook and say, hey, Bridget, hey, Absu, hey, whoever. Man, yo, I know money been tight for us all around these times, and you know what I'm saying? I know that this and that, it's been really hindering us from actually doing what we want to do. But man, I just licked these we just licked, me and Bridget just licked these motherfuckers for damn near $200,000, man. Goddamn, man, listen, man, what you want to do? What's up, man? Where the bankers at? It's a brain bank for the African Union right now. What y'all want to do? The countries in Africa right now, it's some countries in Africa right now that are trying to sever themselves from Europe. You know what I'm saying? France has a lot of land in Europe. Land in Africa, and they're still paying tithes to this day from way back when the slave trade first happened, when the wars back in the 1400s and stuff popped off. When that stuff popped off, and then it took about 200 years for all that stuff to play out correctly. But as they began to raid Mother Africa for its resource, for her resources, her land, things of that nature, they shut the continent down. They went back up in the it's called the Belgian Conference. I can't remember what year it was held though, but the Belgian Conference is when all those countries in Europe that had got their hands into Africa, they actually sat down, had a sit down, and said, man, listen, we ain't about to keep running around Africa like some wild heathens right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is a whole lot of loot, and everybody can gain from this. So France, you can have this country, that country, this land, that land. Germany, you can have this. Italy, you can have that. England, you can have this. Y'all can have this. Okay, so now every year I think it's $500 billion that France receives from Africa, and has been receiving that money from Africa ever since that Belgian conference. $500 billion and it's not even the full continent, it's just a number of countries within that continent. They're generating $500 billion a year. That's just France. Now, I don't know the exact number that England is getting. I don't know the exact number that Spain is getting. You know what I'm saying? I don't know those numbers. But if they're anything, oh shit, my battery getting low. Let me get on the charger, y'all. If they are anything, if they can match with any of the prices that France is getting, Mother Africa is not poor. Mother Africa is still in chains. She's still being oppressed. Still. Ain't no damn freedom. Ain't no motherfucking freedom. Ain't no slave. Ain't no abolished slavery. Ain't no abolished slavery, man. It's still in slavery. They still getting extorted. You're sitting here got us. It's like the Moors. Now, don't get me wrong. I got a lot of love for the Moorish kin. You know what I'm saying? And I like some of the things that they are doing. But in all actuality, they started all of this shit. Not they, but a certain sector of them started this slavery in America, this African slavery in America, and the actual the raiding of the continent. They started it. They grabbed some Arabs, they grabbed some Europeans, you know what I'm saying? They just started doing what they was doing. Now here we are in the 2000s now. They're trying to right their wrongs. Some of them. I began to study the law very hard in 2017, and I did it orally, not over no internet, not over somebody telling me what to do, what to say. I was actually I was on lockup doing this too. I was actually getting into the minds of certain pigs that was working there on that lockup and sending them to libraries, grabbing books from me. I was paying them. Bring me this book, bring me that book. I'm gonna give it back to you, man. I ain't gonna get caught with the book. I'm gonna give it back to you, man. But I just need these. I need this knowledge right now. And as I kept studying these laws, I began to realize that what we call common law in America, in I keep saying want to say Europe. In England, common law is actually known as the Magna Carta. So for anybody that wants to learn American law, American jurisprudence, if you want to learn it without all those loopholes and shit like that, you should study English law first. Study it's four of them, man. I can't remember the names of them, man. It's like four great something, man. The Magna Carta being one of them. And then you got something like a some type of constitution, a petition, a great petition, some things of that nature, habeas corpus, all type of stuff like that. But if you want to actually learn the loop, if you want to learn how to actually defeat these obstacles that America has put in front of us when it comes down to the law, your best bet is to study English law. English law is the original law of America right now, man. Excuse me. You know, but anyways, I kept studying the law, and I'm not as sharp as some of those Moors that you see online that's actually living for free and doing all those discharging of accounts and things of that nature, but I am sharp enough to beat these people around me now. It's been 3 years since I got into some trouble, officially. Now, I've caught charges. I've caught about 8-9 charges in the past 3 years, but the knowledge that I attained through some of these Moors is what's keeping these people from actually defacing my character continuously. You know what I'm saying? I done got it to where I could smoke weed. I could piss dirty right now. I could piss dirty and they can't even charge me. I ain't gonna say how. I'll only reveal that right there is if they charge me, man. But they charge me, I do what I gotta do, and the charge will be dismissed. I done actually put my hands on an officer and beat the charge in the long run because of some of these laws that I've been learning. But you can't perform these laws if you're not in control of self. The minute you start delving into your lower nature, the minute you start allowing your anger to get the best of you, you dilute yourself from God to human, from human to animal. You know what I'm saying? And that's what gives these people the unlimited liability to continue to do what they're doing to us right now. All these police killings and things of that nature is because they're learning international laws. They're learning maxims. Maxims is natural law, and the natural law meaning like the intent behind the act. You know what I'm saying? If you can learn how to prove the abstract part of law, that's the principle of the physical law, and the physical is subordinate to the abstract. They have to bow down. You have to be in control of yourself, though, man, and that's what that book was doing, man. I'm really just been doing this I just had to talk. I'm actually practicing for this Kwanzaa event. I'm giving a presentation on the 31st for the Imani, and I'm trying to learn how to talk in front of a crowd, actually. I've never spoken in front of a crowd of strangers. I've spoken in front of a crowd of people that I know and I'm acquainted with, but not strangers. So all this is right now, this is actually me giving offerings, me giving exercise, so I don't get up on that podium on the 31st of this month and freeze up or begin to start stuttering and things of that nature. I'm going to strive to get that recorded, man, but I'm not sure if that'll be possible or not, man. Just offerings, man. I'm done playing games with my spirit. I'm done making excuses, trying to stay comfortable until I get out of prison. You know, smoking weed just so I can keep myself from acting irrationally. These are the sacrifices that I have to give in order to receive what it is that I yearn for, which is spiritual enlightenment, spiritual liberation. You know what I'm saying? And after the spirit is liberated, then the mind can, and then the body, you know, and then I can actually begin to free other people. You can't free anybody if you're not free yourself. If you're not spiritually liberated, if your mind is not pure and clean, you ain't gonna be able to help nobody else, because you're still falling victim to your bodily desires. You know what I'm saying? I'm still getting high just so I don't act like no animal. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man, get off me, man. Leave me alone. What I was saying, yeah, if I'm still getting high, then that's a desire of mine to actually just keep myself comfortable. And like I said earlier, there's no such thing as being, especially in a struggle of success. I like that podcast the one that I listened to the hardest was on Black Man, We Do Not Know You. You know what I'm saying? And I actually made a mental note to begin to explain the mental functions of a man, sister. You know what I'm saying? From my point of view. You know what I'm saying? To actually enlighten sisters. That I really like. I like that build. I started getting into that depressed black woman. I think it was called something about depression with black woman. I didn't really get into it too much though, because I started I was working out and I was really trying to charge myself up to get my mind together so I can actually begin to start speaking fluently with these teachings again, man. The reason why I fell off a lot is because I have not been around anybody of spiritual significance in almost 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I've been around a whole lot of zombies. And you know, they say if you don't use it, you'll lose it. And that's exactly what's been going on right now, man. This fast right here for me is directed at me regaining what I already had attained. You know what I'm saying? Me actually putting it back into activation. Me stop making excuses for myself just so I can stay comfortable so that I don't act stupid. So that I don't do anything stupid to one of these pigs. You know what I'm saying? If you knew my real name and you look me up, well, not my real name, but the name that I do business as a so-called citizen of the United States, whatever, you look that name up, man, I swear to God, that shit turned up. That shit turned up on them pigs. But that's not a good thing because that's animalistic actings right there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in the position right now to be acting like that, to be putting my hands on them like that. They ain't, no, I'm going to lose. They're going to keep slandering my character online. They're going to keep doing that shit, and it's going to make people not want to fuck with me. Other people who don't know me, when they first might see me, they might be interested in getting to know me. And then jump on the computer. Let me see what he got going on. Whoa, this man here is an animal. I don't want nothing to do with him. Go on about here. When I first got to this penitentiary, right, to this prison right here, nobody knows me. No officers or anything like that. So the first thing they're going to do, if they see somebody that they're interested in, they're going to look you up. They're going to look you up and see what kind of history that you have back here in this system. So when they see mine, oh, he think he runs shit. Oh, he think he a badass. He think this, he think that. He like to fight the police. He like to go against the system. So what they was doing, man, I mean, one day they searched my cell and took one of my necklaces. I had blue and white beads. And they tried to say it was gang related, man, saying that it was affirming the affiliation of the Crips. And I'm like, nah, this is spiritual significance right here, man. And they did not want to go for it. They did not want to accept the fact that I was a man of spirituality. I was a man of high morale. You know what I'm saying? You can look into my history and see all of these assaults that I done did on these people, but they're not going to show you the good things that I done did for the community back here. They're not going to say, man, hey, Ámen is the secretary for the Rastafari community. They're not going to say Ámen is a unit treasurer for the Rastafari community. They're not going to say Ámen is the vice president of the unit for as far as them getting the things that they need, such as their living conditions. They're not going to say that. They're not going to say, man, Ámen's been putting in this paperwork to Ámen's been coming up to us to see to it that these dirty ass motherfucking vents get cleaned out. This shit blowing dust right now. That shit blowing dust. You know what I'm saying? They ain't going to tell all. They ain't going to put the good stuff in there. So what I had to do, I had to just stay in these people's faces that was interested in me from the beginning. I had to stay in their face and actually let them get to know me and actually see that I'm a man of benevolence. You know, I don't lie, I don't cheat, I don't steal. You know what I'm saying? There's this one administrator on this yard, on this plantation. I was going to the law library one day, and she had a picture of her and a couple of the teachers, and it was a picture. One of the teachers was speaking about astrology, and I was like, "Hey, that's astrology?" And she looked at me like, what the fuck you know about astrology? Because when she looked me up in the computer, all she seen was a young black rebellious man. You know what I'm saying? She didn't really want anything to do with me after she seen my record in the computer. But after getting to know me, after I perked her interest a little more with my consciousness, once she, what you know about astrology? What your zodiac sign is? Oh yeah, my sun sign is Aries. My Mars sign is Aries. My Saturn sign is Capricorn. My Neptune is Capricorn. My Uranus is Capricorn. Once I started breaking this thing down to her, letting her know, I know a good bit about astrology and astronomy. It intrigued her. It made her want to get closer to me. She can't get close to me in this building because she's not an officer. So what she did, she said, man, I'm about to put Ámen on this little list to come to this school. Because I want to start seeing what Ámen got going on. I want to see what type of man that he is. I'm going to go ahead and put him on this list to go to school, even though he ain't even asking to go. Hey, Ámen, you want to go to school today? What? Yeah, let me go ahead and go to school. What y'all got going up here? Now I'm a teacher's assistant. I'm an assistant, you know. She's getting to know me, you know. I'm all about building bridges. You know what I'm saying? I also respect the fact that some of these employees, they're not bad people. They're just trying to survive, and they do need guidance. And me as a prisoner, if I want to get into some of these officers' heads and actually steer them in the right direction, I got to practice what I preach. I got to live what I speak. You know what I'm saying? I can't just be sitting back saying, man, I'm Minbaku Shékhem, the hidden universal God on divine will initiated into physical manifestation. Yeah, that shit sound good while you talking about it. You know what I'm saying? This shit sound good. I can sit back and keep jumping in that book and break things down all day. But it really ain't going to hold no real sustenance, no real weight until I place it into action. And it goes for everybody as well, man. This is the only way I will be able to build bridges with some of these employees who are good people